finding someone who's gonna wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to iron your clothes and make you fresh food. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Erica and Kendall. Yes, this is my favorite couple. Listen, insecurity is a very big thing in relationships. When you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be and you're not doing what you're supposed to be in, it can create an insecurity in your relationship. And I think that's where Erica is finding herself. She's unable to keep pace with Kendall, and so it's creating her own insecurity. But guys, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, do yourself a favor. You like it, you share, you subscribe to this channel, okay, and you click on the bell button for notifications of my uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know the model, baby. You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Yeah, you understand? Yeah, stay hydrated, Mazzoline. Let's get into it. All right, cool. So with this particular couple, I think it's really interesting to watch them play, because there are so many couples, I believe, that are like this, right? Especially women going into relationships with certain men who hold certain dominant qualities and attributes, and the feeling of being ill-equipped and feeling like you're not at the level you need to be for that particular man, right? It's interesting. Women always want men that are ambitious and they're doing well for themselves, but when they meet certain guys at a certain age, yo, there's sometimes a gap. Right, when you meet certain guys, and I say certain guys because I don't think there's many. I don't think it's as much as women the other way around. I think we see a lot of black women excelling beyond black men in our society at the moment. But you know, when you do see it like this, you can understand why there's a struggle in the relationship. So first of all, let's start from the very beginning of them. You know, he's already got his mind set on what he believes is his life and his plan for his life and the direction of his life. And
I feel like I'm 1,000% more ambitious than Erica is. When she's setting goals and different things, she's not fully pressing towards it. She always stops when it's like 30% there.
Kendall lets us know that, right? And you know, the two opposing thoughts at the moment is that he believes that she is not doing enough to be at a certain level, and she feels like he is being complacent. But there's an added extra to here. He feels accountable for when she doesn't achieve those goals.
What made you decide to come here?
First of all, we haven't spent a whole lot of time apart. And I think because of that, he's become a little unappreciative. Even of the smaller things, I feel like he tends to look over.
And this is why I believe it's slightly controlling. Now, it sounds cute. Let me get some water and stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. It sounds cute at first, where it's like, oh, you know, he feels accountable for her growth. But after a while, sometimes the accountability can be controlling, because it's like, I have to put my hands on everything that you do, and I don't give you room to breathe and to move, which is really interesting, because obviously he said obviously she does up to 30% and then kind of flails out, right? And then she too also mentioned the fact that, okay, whilst he's saying that, I also feel like I get lost in the relationship because I'm doing everything for him, but she's not actually getting anything necessarily back, okay? And so, you know, she considers him before anything else in their relationship. Ladies, this is the idol worship we're talking about. When you don't have a confident understanding of self, when you don't have good boundaries of self, when you have not said, this is me and my independence, this is me, because you have to have a level of independence, right? Even when you have to have a whole level of independence and understand you when you go into a relationship. If you're looking for the validation of you in the relationship, you're going to lose yourself in a relationship, very much like Erin and Corey. So they're at different stages of their life. She is trying to do her best, but her best is never good enough for her. Like she said herself, every time she feels like she's doing something,
Starting to feel like every day there's like a new standard or a new expectation
Of you?
that he's
By
you know,
him?
wanting me to reach. Yeah.
She doesn't attain a goal.
the goalposts shift and change with him, right? She doesn't have the same aptitude and same speed of ambition and drive and goals that he may have. And he too is also not being patient enough with her because he's stretching her so much, she's struggling to keep up. It's a bit like jogging. You jog with a friend. That friend may not be the fastest jogger, but you got to take your time with that person. Like you're doing corporate jogging. At that point, you've got to be able to jog at the pace of the group. You can't outstretch them. If you overstretch them, the person cannot keep up with you. And sometimes that is relationships. That sometimes someone is actually a little bit more advanced and they have to. Maturity is when you're able to say, hey, I recognize that you're not able to run at my pace. And actually, I'm gonna curb my speed a little bit. Or I'm going to be careful how I do things with you just to make sure that you're not overly stretched. I'm gonna keep on motivating you. I'm gonna keep on encouraging you, because that's what a mature person does. It's almost like when you're the big brother. You've been a big brother before, big sister before. I've been one of those. When you played games with your little brother, okay, there are times where I let him win. Okay, and then he got really good, and then he started beating me properly. And I'm sure he probably does the same thing to me now. But there were times I let him win. Yeah, there was times where I was like, oh, I can't beat you today. You're just playing good, right? You do that because why? Because a level of maturity comes in, and you understand that whapping the person every day does not make sense. You're trying to keep a healthy relationship, and sometimes in healthy relationships, it's about sacrifice. I preached about this the other day, and the Holy Spirit just gave me that word, and it was a Mazzoline. There's times where you need to sacrifice the way that you have to sacrifice part of you in order to keep that person in the loop. If it's to work, there's also no shame in saying, actually, you just don't match my fly and my drive, and I don't need to be in this relationship. So the reason why for him, they've come on the show is to see.
Get married, that's it. I really want to see, like, with this whole experience, if she is the right person or if I'm being too critical.
Good luck finding someone.
Can I be honest? He ain't got the right person. Not for him. Stay hydrated. Not the way that he describes things, not the way that he talks about things and what he goes to do. I mean, it didn't take long before him to connect with Alexis later on in the show. That told me everything I need to know. The fact that he was willing to connect with Alexis, and she number one told him from the jump, I'm coming for you. You got excited about the fact she told you a story about her being a bad girl and cheating on her man. That's what excited you and drew you in. That says a lot about you. That says a lot about where you are right now. You're on a bit of fun right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's ready for this type of girl, right? Because this girl is doing everything for him. I'm not saying that she's amazing and that she's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not trying to say like there's nothing wrong on her side. And I'm gonna get to her side, but she's doing a lot for you. Like, she had to say, like, good luck to finding someone who works about 4 a.m. to iron and to cook fresh food for you. First of all, sis, I love a good relationship, and I think it's healthy to have a good relationship. But sis, 4 a.m. in the morning, yeah, and you don't like to do it, and you don't really like to do it. You're just doing it because you want to keep him happy and sweet. Sis, you might burn out at this rate. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 a.m. to get up and iron and cook for him. And I'm not saying servitude is wrong. I'm just saying that you sound like you've lost a lot of your boundaries of self.
Good luck finding someone who's gonna wake up at 4 o'clock.
Stay hydrated.
Make you fresh food.
Because at 4 a.m., if you've got stuff to do, you're not getting up at 4 a.m. yourself. If you've got stuff to do, ask any parent. Listen, when their kids are running around the house on the Mazzoline, when the kids need to get up in the morning, the reason why they're getting up early is because they got to sort out the kids. If it wasn't for the kids, they're not getting up for you, and they're not getting up for me. Why? Because if you've got an identity of self, you also need time to rest. You also need time to recuperate. You also need time to recover. So if you're consistently waking up at 4 a.m. to serve him, you might have an issue. You're not a servant or a butler. You are a partner. All right? Do you know what? It's not even a problem if you serve somebody, if they're willing to serve you back. This is the whole point about when Jesus talks about, Ephesians 5 talks about how a man and woman should submit to one another. It's talking about how do you serve one another. We can serve each other in different ways, but how do we serve each other, right? The Bible says the greatest of all these disciples were the ones who are going to serve. The greatest in the kingdom is the one that decides to serve. When you decide to serve, and bear in mind, masculine energy is all about servitude. If you didn't know, it's not about just taking leadership onwards. Leadership is shown through servitude. It's shown through humility to be able to serve other people, including your wife or your girlfriend, right? So the same way she's serving you, if you reply with that, she's only going to multiply what you're giving her. If you serve her, it's only going to multiply when you do the same for her. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, I'm seeing the fact that this girl has lost herself in this relationship. She's struggling to keep up with his goals, ambitions, and his vision. She's struggling with that, and she's having to lie to self in order to stay in the relationship. She's having to lie to herself about what she can actually do and accomplish to stay in the relationship. His ambition will end up killing her. His vision will end up killing her. His speed will end up killing her, because she cannot keep up at this moment, right? And because she considers him ahead of herself, it's promoting the insecurity, okay? And now, just talking about the Alexis situation, it was concerning for me that the fact that he was drawn to this girl because she told a story about cheating on a man. That's why she's got insecurities. And I said to myself, bro, you're drawn to the emotionally unavailable people. Look, this girl who's here is a bad girl wanting to tempt you, and you're excited by that. You know?
I typically go for the type of man that's bad. The guys that I'm gonna meet here, I feel like they don't want their girlfriends. I think they want to.
Not looking for, you're not looking for to learn or to grow. You're looking for a quick beat. This is not going to learn and grow you. Alexis is a cool girl. She's a beautiful looking girl, but she's not going to grow you. She's not going to mature you, because she's here to try and take you instantly. She's not even trying to connect. She's trying to take you off another girl. She's not trying to connect, and then it comes out to being, okay, let's see what happens. She wants to literally win a war. She lacks the competition. She lacks the fact she can take you from someone else. Bro, you missing it. You really missing it. She too also is missing it, because I don't think he's going to fully trust her, and if he does, she will take him for a Mikey, mate. Honestly, I really believe that, listen, this is going to end in sourpuss. It's going to end badly. You know what I'm saying? So mandem choose girls like Alexis because they're looking for a challenge, but the challenge will be over very, very quickly. Once you've attained her, it's done. You have to be very careful that she's also not playing you, and that she just wants to take you from that girl. You can easily get played out here. And then I want to end on this point as well about, she said, obviously, she put herself down. Again, I said the confidence, man. Beautiful girl like Erica. Where's the confidence, girl? Confidence been stripped in the relation that you're in. Where she said, obviously, I believe we're good, we're doing well, and everything like that. And then she goes, but, the missing
Carry. I know what you carry. Yeah. So I guess just the missing piece of that puzzle is figuring out what I carry. Yeah. So I feel like just being by myself for the first time.
Piece is me in the equation. Basically, you're saying that you're not doing your job. Erica, you're doing all you can do. As you said yourself, even if you become that woman, okay, you're scared that you might not be enough for him. And you know what? You probably won't be. That's the truth. You won't be. Because he's always going to keep on growing. So at what point will you catch up enough for him to be okay? If it's not okay now, it's not going to be okay later on. All right, so we got to learn from this. Sis, you are not the missing piece of the equation. You need to be out of the equation. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to talk too deep, man. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, guys. Stay hydrated, baby. It's a massive lead.